eyes are heavy blue, one to love and one to lose. Sweet divine, the heavy truth, water or wine, don't make me choose. I wanna feel the way that we did that summer night. Drunk on a feeling, alone with the stars in the sky. I've been running through the jungle, I've been running with the wolves to get to you, to get to you. I've been down the darkest alley, saw the dark side of the moon to get to you, to get to you. I look for love and every stranger took too much easy anger, all for you, yeah, all for you. I've been running through the jungle, I've been crying with the wolves to get to you, to get to you. Your fingertips trace my skin to places I have never been. Blindly I'm following, break down these walls and come on in. I wanna feel the way that we did that summer night. Drunk on a feeling, alone with the stars in the sky.
Time after time, I've done my sentence, but committed no crime. And bad mistakes, I've made a few. I've had my share of bad kicks in my face, but I've come through. And I need to go on. We are the champions, my friends, and we'll keep on fighting till the end. We are the champions. We are the champions. No time for losers, 'cause we are the champions of the world. I've taken my bows and my curtain calls. You brought me fame and fortune and everything that goes with it. I thank you all, but it's been no bed of roses, no pleasure cruise. I consider it a challenge before the whole human race, and I ain't gonna lose. We are the champions, my friends, and we'll keep on fighting till the end. We are the champions. We are the champions. No time for losers, 'cause we are the champions of the world. The champions, my friends.
I see the place that we belong together, together, like we were something more. And it felt like maybe we could last forever, forever. But you let them to our heart out, forced away inside. Now they want us to surrender, us to surrender. But I could go all night, right here between their crossfire. We'll send them up a message. I send a message. We'll say, give it up, give it up. We've got no place to go. Come
everyone. Welcome to ASU ACHA Men's Hockey YouTube. I'm Brett Vaughn alongside my partner Niall Cooper. And now Arizona State's playing host to those bitter rivals down south for 2 games. First game tonight here at Mold Arena.
Yep, Arizona State. We are back, folks, and we are looking forward to some more Cactus Cup action tonight. And so far, Brett, early this season, we've got a split series right now and something on the table after New Year's that we have not seen in a long time. The Cactus Cup is still alive for Arizona State. It's been a long time since they have won this trophy against their bitter rivals from down south since 2016. The Sun Devils chasing that, and they have a chance this weekend on home ice. Both games on Mullet Arena ice, mind you, to really put themselves ahead and give themselves a great shot to win the Cactus Cup.
And we expect some energy inside Mold Arena. Good turnout tonight with the crowd. Arizona State played their first game of the second semester last weekend in a loss against Grand Canyon University. And now for Arizona State, tough end to that first semester, so they're still looking for some momentum to build on throughout the season.
Yeah, GCU, never an easy opponent, especially in their home barn. Arizona State, they gave them a run for their money, which was good to see. The Sun Devils kind of finding their legs after the break here. And I think it's going to be important tonight. Nathaniel Glenn, number 31, looks to be the one lining up between the pipes. He's been the go-to guy for Arizona State this season. He's made a lot of big, timely saves. And I think tonight against U of A, a slightly better team, at least on paper, they're going to be leaning on their goaltender a lot tonight, the Sun Devils are. And I think if they can get those key saves at the right moment, and we see some of that finish that they flashed back last year around Thanksgiving time, we might just see a Sun Devil victory tonight.
Well, folks, buckle up. We have puck drop in just under a couple minutes, and we'll have starting lineups and the national anthem here on Arizona State ACHA Hockey U2. And before we get started with puck drop tonight, we'll introduce you to tonight's starting goaltenders for the visiting Wildcats. And between the pipes, it's going to be number 30, Hayden Gould. His last outing came against these very same Sun Devils down in Tucson, coming out on the losing side of an overtime loss back in early December. And for the Sun Devils, it'll be the sophomore, number 31, Nathaniel Glenn. Glenn with a 4-8 record. He lost to GCU back last weekend as he looks to try and get in the W column to start off 2026.
As you mentioned earlier, a great crowd on hand tonight, all beneath us here, so hopefully a little bit of ambiance for everyone listening back at home.
And draw won by Ben Chase for the Sun Devils. Ryan Kloss will work it up. Stretch pass from Kennedy, finds Chase, and he gets an early shot. Just 10 seconds passed to start this game.
And you like to see that. A hot start would be wonderful for Arizona State here tonight. And you see a little pep in their step.
Chase, Kennedy, and Kloss, the forward lines to start the game tonight. Anthony White and Keaton Tonez on the back end. Icing waved off by the linesman. Tonez will look over his right shoulder and will fire it up to Kennedy, and he'll ship it in and go to the bench for a change. Wildcats will come out with it, and they're able to break it out. Coming in with some speed now. Shot gets blocked away. Hughes will play it back around. Pinching in. Wildcats momentarily, but they lose it. And the turnover comes to Caden Butler. Butler's unable to get around a Wildcats defenseman and gets shown to the corner. Oh, dangerously takes a weird hop off a Wildcat skate, but luckily it goes and gets cleared away momentarily. Austin Cameron intercepts it at the red line. It'll be played back by the assistant captain, Ty Marchand. Glenn will leave it behind his net. Ends up hitting the ref off that clear. Chioka will slap it back down. Wildcats get the turnover. Working down beneath the goal line is Wyatt Steffen. Steffen cycles it back down to Walker. Comes out to Glenn, and he shepherds that one in the corner. Sovasky does a good job breaking it out. He headmans it up to Cameron. King has to retrieve it back in the neutral zone, and he'll fire it up again. Kylie Ram. Down to Friesen. King. On his backhand, he'll cycle that back down around. Kylie Ram up to Sovasky. He'll dump it in as the Sun Devils elect to keep possession in the offensive zone. Matt Keeler ends up getting taken down. Play will continue as Chioka settles it behind his net. Tonya's indirect pass to Friesen with some speed. He has Descharme and Keeler. He likes to shoot it, gets his own rebound. Works up to the point. White to Friesen. He'll dump it down in the corner. Descharme unable to get it over to Keeler, and the Wildcats will clear it. And that puck ends up going all the way down for an icing with 16:54 in the first period.
And we saw some of that Arizona State speed on display. Carter Newland, a nice heads-up play on his first shift of the night. He created a turnover in the neutral zone, almost a 2-on-1 going back the other way for Arizona State. And I think that's where they're going to be at their best tonight, partners, if they can get that speed going and really move north to south on the Wildcats.
Draw one by Gross. The one-timer shot from Marchand just goes wide. Good to see Arizona State performing well in the face-off dots in the circle. That's something they've been trying to work on as the season has progressed. Face-off will be to the other side of the goaltender gold. Sun Devils control the puck off the draw again. Marchand hits the brakes, hits a snapshot on, and that's gloved by Gould. And that's something we're accustomed to with Ty Marchand. He was able to fake the defensive winger out of his skates and got a shot through.
Ty Marchand, definitely one of the more skilled defensemen we've seen over the years come through the halls here at Arizona State.
Draw one again by the Sun Devils. Marchand gets another shot through. They don't know where it is. It's out in front. Chase gets his pass tipped up into the air and gets whistled down as deemed to be a hand pass or legal pass by the Wildcats.
And Ben Chase getting acquainted with some Wildcats after the whistle as well. Very friendly guy.
Sun Devils applying the pressure as we have not had a face-off in the Arizona State zone so far. Rossi rims it around. That'll get played up into neutral zone. Sovisky and Erickson are at it, and look out, as it's a lucky souvenir, and we have plenty of people trying to bid for it, chasing that puck down. Well, the Sun Devils are missing a goal. It's been a great start to this game so far. A lot of the play has been inside Arizona's end. King's trying to hustle for it, and he ends up getting beaten out by the defenseman Billy Maloney for the Wildcats, and Arizona, just on cue, will be able to have their face-off in the offensive zone. Wildcats win it now. Point shot blocked. Cameron gets it up to King, and he'll try and retrieve that dump in himself. Puck out to Kylie Ram, and he'll clap that one on, and glove down by Gould.
And we saw Tyler Kylie Ram starting to find his game back in the end of the previous semester partner. He had some good displays when we saw the University of Oklahoma come to town, and putting himself in a good spot right there to unleash a hard one-timer.
And heading to the box is an Arizona player. It'll be Justin Hughes. And the Sun Devils, with their great pressure, now work on the man advantage. Snapshot on from King, misses wide. Marchand. One-touch passing, and Butler fans on the one-timer. King up to Marchand. In the corner, one-touch pass to King. He got the shot through, but not enough power to get by the goaltender Gould. Kept in by Marchand. Gross. Wrist shot on, whistles high. Sun Devils have the Wildcats in a daze on the man advantage. Some good quick passing. Marchand is able to get the shot through, but it gets blocked in the corner. Retrieving that is Butler. Newland. Marchand to King. Back to Newland. Sun Devils moving the puck really well. Marchand wrist shot on, blocked by the Wildcats, and they're able to clear it. Carter Hanrahan on one knee gets it down.
And a good job by the Wildcat penalty killers out here, making sure to stay active in the lanes. Nothing coming easy for the Sun Devils early on this power play.
Matthew Gross will collect it through the middle, but He ends up overskating the puck, and that gets dumped down. 35 seconds left on the minor penalty to Hughes. Kate Olson. Get some help from Friesen, but they can't get it down deep. Sun Devils finish off a change. Sovosky steps out behind his net. Drops it to Kylie Ram. Now to Kate Olson. Sovosky eats a check, dumps it in for Kylie Ram. And now the Wildcats have killed off the penalty, and they're back to 5-on-5 play. Walker protecting the puck behind Olsen, behind the net, trying to step out with it. Good job by Olsen to not give up, and he'll poke the puck away to Friesen. Friesen by himself as his line mates finish off a change. Sends it out in front to Kennedy. Quick snapshot on blocked. And as Kennedy was trying to retrieve the puck, he ends up colliding with the Wildcats player, and we have a penalty.
And unfortunate for Kennedy, maybe a little too big for his britches as he was barreling in like a bull in a china shop for that loose puck. And you like him having that nose for the net, but getting a little bit too physical with those Wildcat players right in front of the referee as well. Maybe looked slightly worse than it actually was. And the Wildcats not going to complain one bit as they just killed off the Sun Devil power play, and now U of A with a chance of their own.
Official calls boarding on Kennedy. Wildcats get their first power play of the game. Chioka unable to get his pass through. Wildcats will settle it down. Trying to show off some passing of their own. Vockler. Down the corner, high shot. Goes wide from Rue. Chioka. One-timer shot. Misses high, kept in by the Wildcats. Luke Chase presses his man against the wall, and his brother Ben ends up clearing it out to the neutral zone. And looks to be a delayed penalty call coming up to the Sun Devils, so they could be on 5-on-3 play, but wisely not touching it.
I'm surprised the University of Arizona isn't going to play it to Arizona State.
They'll get a shot through, and it's finally touched up by Luke Chase. And with 49 seconds left, it'll be a 5-on-3 power play for Arizona. And Ben Chase looks to be the guilty party, a slashing call signaled by the referee. And for what was a great start to this first period for the Sun Devils, have now gotten themselves out of rhythm, having to kill off some penalties. Kylie Ram trying to clear it out, getting some help from Sovosky, but kept in by Arizona. Maloney, wrist shot on, saved by Glenn. Kylie Ram trying to kick it out, and as he was trying to clear it out, he ends up getting hooked, and that'll do it for the 5-on-3 power play for Arizona.
And that's just the product of moving your feet. Great job by Kylie Ram as U of A looked to be kind of resting on their laurels. They knew they had a two-man advantage, but Kylie Ram said, no problem, I'm going to take all this free space you're giving me, was the first one to the puck and just kept chugging along, forcing the Wildcats to either let him break the other way or hook him down. And in about 30 seconds, we will be at 4-on-4 hockey.
So right now it's 4-on-3 hockey, a lot of space out there. Maloney, cross-ice pass, finds his winger. 15 left on the abbreviated power play for Arizona. Redirection misses wide. Kept in by Maloney. Now to Wyatt Steffen. Steffen's wrist shot on, blocked by Kylie Ram. Trevor Kennedy comes out of the box for Arizona State, and they have an odd man rush. It's a 3-on-1. Sovasky on his forehand. Wrist shot on, blockered away by Gould. Olsen dumps it back down. And for about 55 seconds worth, we'll have 4-on-4 play. Exciting chance for Arizona State there with Kennedy coming off and out of the box. Chioka's pass gets deflected up and out of play, and we'll have a whistle.
That Arizona State penalty kill, if you wouldn't have told me, I would have thought that we might have had Mutombo out on the ice. The way that the Sun Devils were blocking so many shots left, right, and center. Nathaniel Glenn didn't have too much rubber to have to face on a 5-on-3 shorthanded, and then 4-on-3. The Sun Devils not bending to this Wildcat offense that's having a lot of offensive zone draws in the last few minutes here. We'll see if Arizona State can get this one.
Won cleanly by Gross. Marchant. He'll turn back in his own zone. Plays it over to Luke Chase. King. Trying to build up some speed. And he'll get Shepard back in his own zone. Chase stops behind his net. Gross wheels out of his own zone. Over to Marchant. Marchant. He'll dangle his way in. Gross on his backhand. Drop pass to Chase, and he'll fan on the clapper. And that'll go into the corner. His brother Ben will come out. Sun Devils will have a very, very short power play, about 10 seconds worth. Wildcats will collect it, and we'll just dump it all the way down. And Glenn will end up electing to freeze it with 3 seconds left on this very abbreviated power play. Well, all in all, after that couple-minute display of a parade of penalties heading to the box, Sun Devils have had a good start tonight.
They have, as you mentioned, kind of getting out of rhythm a little bit, and that's what you run into sometimes with special teams.
Caden Butler skated in. Oh, out in front, and that rebound was juicy right to Newland, and I don't think he was expecting it. Out in front again. Butler's one-timer shot. Another shot on. Another shot from Friesen on the rebound, and that goes wide. Friesen ends up getting the cold shoulder and taken down. No call. Curley will get it out of his own zone for Arizona, but the Sun Devils will collect the turnover. And good response by this line with Newland, Friesen, and Butler. Icing waved off. Going hard in on the forecheck is Connor Squarey. Tonez will just chip that one down low. Wildcats getting harassed by Squarey as he's done a good job on the forecheck. They turn it over. Kylie Ram waiting for Squarey. He'll dump it down. Squarey takes a hard ride into the boards, but he's back up. Wildcats right now in fits as they are having major issues getting out of their own zone. Keeler into the corner. That'll get taken away by Arizona. Chip off the glass. Olsen will collect it in the neutral zone. Marchant keeps it in, centers it out to the point. Luke Chase, his shot gets blocked by Ruh, and then Cameron will have to go back in his own zone with under 8 minutes to go in this first period, 0-0.
Sun Devils starting to find their rhythm right now, 5-on-5.
Gets turned over at the center ice line. Walker backhands that one. He sends it out in front again, and that shot redirection goes dangerously wide for Arizona. Probably the Wildcats' best shot and best opportunity of the game.
And not surprising, if you turn the puck over at your own blue line, you are asking for trouble.
So Chase will just get it out. Vockler plays it to the defenseman, gets shot directly on Glenn, and he'll play it quickly. And behind the play, Jake King laboring a little bit. He'll go to the bench. Kennedy has a puck caught up in his skates. Tonez will keep it in. Wildcats with some speed will break it out. Vockler. Great block by Anthony White, the freshman. And we have a whistle as there's some extracurricular down back behind the play. As some friendly exchanges between Ryan Quast and for the Wildcats, number 10, Hunter Hodgson, as they'll both be shown the box.
And not too surprising, Brett, it only took a little bit past the halfway point of the first period for tensions to start to rise in this heated rivalry. And this is what all these great Payne fans came in attendance to tonight's game for, is to see some hard-hitting action. And you could hear the crowd starting to rouse up as those guys were getting into it back behind the play.
So the referees now are going back to both teams' benches to, one, probably communicate what those penalties for, but also to try to calm the tempers down a little bit as we're only in the first. But if anybody knows anything about this rivalry, good luck to those referees.
And I know you've had your fair share of games in this rivalry, partner. And knowing you, I'm sure you've had some nice exchanges. Gotten to know a few players from down south.
Well, luckily for me, I was always the ones outside those scrums. I let my teammates do some of that dirty work for me. So after all that, it'll be a face-off in the Arizona State zone. Draw one by Vockler. Maloney plays it back down low to his forward. Comes out in front. Hughes' backhand shot. Blockered away by Glenn. Also, too, just to finish up some housekeeping, we will have 4-on-4 play after those coincidental minors. High touch. Ended up having some mixed signals as it was the back referee saying it was good, but the linesman ended up calling it a high touch.
And a good job by Carter Newland. I think that's an instant, much like you see in a lot of other industries these days, some lobbying working for Arizona State, as Newland was really letting the officials know that that was a high touch. And Arizona State able to get an offensive zone draw out of it.
Hughes drops it down behind his net. Minute and 20 left with 4-on-4 play. It's interesting, I think it trickles down from the professional ranks in the NHL is when we have a 4-on-4 or a 3-on-3 situation, as it comes out in front, dangerously turned over by King. He got a couple good whacks at it to Newland. Arizona State now threatening. Kate Olsen will turn it over. Vockler, a quick snapshot on. Glenn will fight it off, and play will continue. As it seemed to be a chance really out of nothing, King got the turnover right in front of the Arizona netminder. He got a couple good shots. Shioka will collect it now. Headmans it up. Snapshot on. Blockered away by Glenn. He'll come back around and come all the way out. Ten seconds left now. The 4-on-4 play. It'll get picked up by Gremlick. Gremlick stops, waits. Good defensive play by Butler to intercept the pass with a stick. And both players are back on the ice for even strength hockey.
That was a huge stick by Butler. A one-timer was just waiting in the wings for the Wildcats.
Rossi gets it in onside. Rizzo stops, quick snapshot on. Punched away by Glenn. And Quas will chip it out. Under 4:30 to play now in this first period. Still knotted up at 0. Tonez, as he was looking for the body as he laid some physicality down on Rizzo. Or Pizzo, pardon me, kept in. And now skidded out with Anthony White. It's a 3-on-2. White gets it back from Kylie Ram. Short angle shot on and gobbled up by Gould. And we have a couple players getting tangled up. Anthony White in there and Billy Maloney.
And the attendance for the penalty boxes tonight getting quite a bit of labor, especially the Sun Devil side. Arizona State going to be shorthanded once again. If you think about it, partner, we've just about had a special teams bingo so far tonight. We've seen 5-on-4. We've seen 5-on-3. We've seen 4-on-3. The only thing we're missing is 3-on-3, and I think we can go over to the big chicken corner and claim a bingo.
We definitely used some of Shaq's big chicken here at the arena tonight. Maybe have to stop by there during the intermission. But it looks to be Anthony White, the only guilty party in the box. And so Arizona State's going to have to kill off a penalty. Vockler plays it back down low. And Rez shot ends up getting blocked. Vockler had to handle that puck and settle it down. Chioka punched away by Glenn and cleared away by Keeler. Sun Devils will be able to at least change their forward groups out with a fresh set of penalty killers. Hughes gets to his spot at the hash mark, drops it for Chioka. Vockler trying to get that one-timer through. He does, kicked away by Glenn. And skidding it out is the captain, Kate Olson, and he dumps it down 200 feet. Wildcats showed a little bust legs in this first period, but I think with all these penalties, it helped them kind of ease their way into this game.
It definitely has broken up the rhythm of the game, and I think we've seen that benefit both teams at different times in this first period.
Maloney will play it back down. The Wildcats will end up trying to swap out their power play units. And with 35 seconds left on the power play, they'll finally skate out of their own zone. Gramlich turns it over at the blue line. Does some good job and good back pressure by Arizona State to force him to overhandle the puck as he crossed the blue line.
That neutral zone, a very mucky area of the ice so far tonight between these two teams. The Sun Devils doing a good job locking it down shorthanded.
Marchand's unable to clear it. Curley drops it to Maloney. One-timer shot on. And it's gloved down by Glenn. He's looked sharp so far. Anthony White getting some communication from the bench on where the coaches want him to come out. If he wants to go straight to the bench or go right to the ice. Maloney walks the line, snap shot on, takes a dangerous hop behind the net, and they score. As Anthony White was coming out and the penalty expired, the point shot gets redirected and past Glenn, and Arizona will have a 1-0 lead.
And though that goal was 5-on-5, that's what we would call a power play influenced goal. The Sun Devils putting themselves in a lot of challenging positions so far in this first period, going shorthanded once again. And though they did kill it, the Wildcats kept winning draw after draw, maintaining pressure. And you could feel it mounting. Daniel Glenn starting to have to make a lot of saves. Hungry hippoing at the puck. And a nice shot from the point. You get some traffic in front, get a deflection, and that's going to be hard for any goaltender to stop. and the Wildcats taking advantage in the first on the road to get the lead.
And they'll play it back down as we have under 2 minutes to play in this first period. Sun Devils overskate the puck, but it gets picked up by Cade Olson, and he'll dump it down. Gould plays it behind his net. Wildcats try to slow the puck and play down, having this 1-goal lead. Sovasky, D to Olson. Gould will happily play that one around his net to his defenseman. Wildcats will chop it in. Around to Hughes. Get up to the point. Helgson will dump it down and hit a couple bodies in front of Glenn and ended up going safely wide for Arizona State. Icing waved off. Fresh off the bench is Newland with 25 seconds left. Sun Devils try to get one more chance. Keeler backhands that one in the opposite corner. Newland unable to track that puck down. And it'll get popped up in the air. Tonez gloves it down. Marchand. Kylie Ram enters in. 5 seconds left. Kylie Ram snapshot on. Saved by Gould, rebound in the corner. And after 20 minutes of play, Arizona ends up striking late in that first period and now having a 1-goal lead.
And the special teams, Arizona State unable to execute early on their own power play, and from there it just seemed like a parade to the penalty box ensued for the home team. And our beloved Maroon and Gold down 1-0. Not without some hard work in their own end. The penalty kill seemed good early, partner, but the Wildcats, they just continued coming as they kept getting chances, and a nice deflection in front was a difference maker as the Wildcats lead here after 20.
Well, folks, we even saw a little extracurricular too early in that first period, and we expect a lot more of that intensity rising up as we progress through tonight's contest. After 20 minutes of play, Arizona State 0, Wildcats 1, and we'll be back with live second period action in just under 15 minutes here on Arizona State ACHA Hockey YouTube.
Hello out there, we're on the air, it's hockey night tonight. Tension grows, the whistle blows, and the puck goes down the ice. The goalie jumps and the players bump and the fans all go insane. Someone roars, Bobby scores at the good old hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game is the best game you can name. And the best game you can name is the good old hockey game. Second period, where players dash with skates aflash. The home team trails behind, but they grab the puck and go bursting up, and they're down across the line. They storm the crease like bumblebees. They travel like a burning flame. We see them slide the puck inside. It's a 1-1 hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game is the best game you can name. And the best game you can name is the good old hockey game. Third period, last game in the playoffs too. Oh, take me where the hockey players face off down the rink, and the Stanley Cup is all filled up for the champs who win the drink. Now the final flick of a hockey stick and a one gigantic scream. The puck is in, the home team wins the good old hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game is the best game you can name. And the best game you can name is the good old hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game is the best game you can name. And the best game you can name is the good old hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game is the best game you can name. And the best game you can name is the good old
could not foresee this thing happening to you. If I look hard enough into the setting sun, my love will laugh with me before the morning.
I see your dirty face hide behind your collar. What is done in vain? Truth is hard to swallow, so you pray to God to justify the way you live a lie, live a lie, live a lie. And you take your time, and you do your crime. Will you mean your bed? I made mine. Because when I arrive, I bring the fire, make you come alive. I can take you higher. What this is, forgot. I must now remind you. Let it rock, let it rock, let it rock. Now the son's disgraced. He who knew his father when he cursed his name turned and chased the dollar, but it broke his heart. So he stuck his middle finger to the world, to the world, to the world. And you take your time, and you stand in line where you'll get what's yours. I got mine. Because when I arrive, I bring the fire, make you come alive. I can take you higher. What this is, forgot. I must now remind you. Let it rock, let it rock, let it rock. Yeah, Wayne's World, Planet Rock, panties drop and the top. And she gon' rock till the camera stop. I sing about angels like Angel Eye, rock, and Pay My Life, rock, and Sam Die, rock, and Emma and Tamara. Why I'm in here like what's up, mechanic me. I can fix you up, I can you up, I can you down. Shout it, we could go wherever, just pick a town. And my jewelry is louder than an engine sound. Big egg rocks like on the ground, dirty like socks that's on the ground. We say because when I arrive, I bring the fire, make you come alive.
Cause you're a sky full of stars. I'm gonna give you my heart. Cause you're a sky full of stars. Cause you light up the park. I don't care, go on and tear me apart. I don't care if you do. Cause in the sky full of stars, I think I saw you. Cause you're a sky full of stars. I wanna die in your arms. Cause you get lighter the more it gets dark. I'm gonna give you my heart. I don't care, go on and tear me apart. I don't care if you do.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to ASU ACHA hockey presentation of ACHA Division I men's ice hockey. I'm Brett Vaughn, alongside now Cooper, and the Sun Devils had a great start to that first period, especially early, but some penalty trouble ended up hampering their momentum, and the Wildcats ended up coming out of that period late with a 1-goal lead. And that's where it'll find us now, and look out, another puck with some steam on it going into the stands, and again, some lucky fans really getting their money's worth tonight.
And that's the hot section so far tonight, Brett. Multiple pucks flying into the stands. And I would really love to see some of these big boys for Arizona State start to get hot this period. Trevor Kennedy and Jake King come to mind for me. I think the Sun Devils need to get a few good shifts 5-on-5 under their belt here. And if they can get a little bit of momentum going their way in this middle period with that long change, they could make things hard for the Wildcats.
Marchant will play it back. Find his own net, get some help from Quast to dump it in. Open it along with Hodgson, but he's unable to get it out. And now with some speed, Lockler dangerously out to the other side, and Glenn pushes from right to left, and he'll freeze it.
And that was a nice athletic play from Nathaniel Glenn, number 31 in white. Getting tested early, having to move quick from his right to his left. And that would have been a very tough goal for the Sun Devils to take just less than a minute into the second period here. And as we mentioned in the pregame, sometimes you need your best player on the ice to be the one with the pads between the pipes. And Nathaniel Glenn stepping up when his team needs him.
Arizona State netminder has been sharp tonight. It took a redirection out in front of him to get a puck by him so far tonight. Wildcats turn it over to Silva Sky, but he'll give it right back. Wildcats come in, snapshot on, blocked away by Glenn. Kylie Ram stops, looking for Squarey on the back door, unable to get it to him. Kylie Ram going hard on the forecheck. Puck will get collected and shipped down, but ended up being illegally shipped in as he did not cross the center ice line before releasing the puck. See if Sun Devils can get some momentum with a face-off in the offensive zone to start. Gross wins it. Butler, drop pass to Tonez. Shot blocked. Gross trying to keep his defenseman and help him. Strong dumping will go to the Wildcats, and good read by Anthony White to intercept that pass. He'll collect it, wrist shot on, and Gould will freeze it with his chest.
And I like what I've been seeing from Anthony White so far tonight. Number 8 for Arizona State. He's been very timely with his ability to jump into the play, force turnovers in the neutral zone, really muck it up for the Sun Devils. And it looks like he may have given the Sun Devils a little bit more than just some momentum off the rush.
Good call, as it's going to be Walker, Dylan Walker, heading to the sin bin for the Wildcats. And really just out of one innocent shot by White, he ends up getting a power play opportunity for his team. Draw one by King. Marchand keeps it in. Sun Devils looked good on their only power play opportunity in the first period, as they were really snapping that puck around. They'll find Gross on this right half wall. Marchand works it to the other side. Newland. King. Marchand one-timer shot. Rebound in front. Oh, what a stop by Gould. That was an all-reaction save, as Butler had a great opportunity. As again, Arizona State doing great on the man advantage, as Newland driving towards the middle of the ice ended up getting all of Arizona's attention focused on him, and that allowed Marchant to release the one-timer shot to get that commotion started.
And this Sun Devil power play really seems to live and die by the stick of Ty Marchant. He is the orchestrator superb for Arizona State, and I'd like to see them work it back to the point with him a little bit more.
King, good job protecting the puck, and he'll have some time and space. Marchant collects it from his skates. Gross overskates it, and that gets cleared down by Maloney. And just a little under halfway through this power play for Arizona State. Ty Marchant, drop pass to Butler. Now to Gross. Gross, wrist shot on. 6A by Gould. King to Marchant. 45 seconds left on the man advantage. King from the blue line to Gross. Gross trying to fit that one through. Newland has to collect it off the boards. Drops it. King. Marchant. Gross one-timer shot, and that's blocked by Curley. King out in front, whip around shot. Couple stabs at it. Gould's holding his post well. 15 seconds left now. One-timer from Marchant goes wide. Took a hot deflection behind the net, but King was unable to get that puck.
And what an opportunity. That last shot for Marchant, the way that ricocheted back off of the dasher behind the goaltender, just inches away from the stick of the Arizona State forwards in front of the net. That could have been a chance for them to even this thing up.
Walker comes out of the box. Wildcats come away unscathed. They come in now and they score. A broken play in every sense of the word as the Wildcats somehow just shoehorn that puck into the offensive zone, and it ends up getting batted in by the forward, Riley Ruck.
And truly, as you said, partner, a broken play. The Wildcats just kind of hop, skip, jumping that puck across the blue line. The Sun Devils whacking away at it. And it almost looked like a game of Super Mario Party for a moment, the way that puck was jumping around like one of the stars. And then Ruh, just a beautiful display of hand-eye coordination, whacks at it. And I don't know how that found its way past Nathaniel Glenn. He's a big goaltender. But the Wildcats certainly don't care. Up 2-0 on the road. And they are in the driver's seat.
Tough break for Arizona State. You thought they would be able to gain some momentum after a great power play with everything going well outside of scoring. Wildcats come back in again. Beautiful sprawling block by Kate Olson to negate the cross seam pass.
And that's something we saw earlier in the year that the Sun Devils missed when Kate Olson was out of the lineup for a little bit of time.
Kennedy comes with it now. Wrist shot misses wide. Steffen plays it behind his net and he drops it for Chioka. Puck picked up by Vockler. Vockler shot on. Blocked away by Kate Olson. One-timer from Hughes. Good stop by Glenn. Wildcats really feeding off that goal that they just scored. Chioka, D-to-D. Maloney waits. Maloney still with it. Trying to fit it in on the far side. That'll miss. Chioka fans on the shot. That allows a tired Arizona State group to clear it and go for a change.
And the Wildcats doing what we had hoped Arizona State would do coming out in this period, putting together a few good shifts and then taking advantage of that long change. The Sun Devils could not get off the ice for the longest period of time. A couple really good opportunities for the Wildcats just go begging.
Marchant ends up stinging with that shot. Billy Maloney ends up going out of play, and we'll have a whistle as Maloney's hobbling on one leg trying to get back to that Arizona bench. Ben Chase in the circle for the Sun Devils. And he'll win it as he was trying to get there, ends up getting impeded, but play will continue. Wrist shot on, blocked by King. Gross doesn't know where it is, and they'll end up going for an icing call, or else you would have thought Gross with his speed would have got to that puck first.
And it seems like the Sun Devils right now just kind of waiting for someone to step up and create a moment for them. And that's certainly not a good thing. If you're the Wildcats, this is kind of a moment where you smell the blood in the water. You can tell the Sun Devils, they're on their heels. They're backed into the corner. If the Wildcats really push here, they could get some sustained zone time, possibly go up on Arizona State 3-0.
Looks to be both players were trying to look at that back referee for a call, but play will continue. Luke Chase rides a check, trying to get over to his partner Marchand, but it's a very aggressive forecheck by Arizona, keeping the Sun Devils in their own zone. Stretch pass for Gross, intercepted. Gross will find King by himself. Backhand shot on, fighting it off was Gould. Butler trying to dig for it behind the net, and it's finally whistled for a break in the action.
And the referee really letting Arizona State dig away at that for an extended period of time. I'm surprised they didn't blow it down a little bit earlier. The Sun Devils afforded a nice opportunity to try to dig that puck out short side. And it seems like for the first time almost this entire period, maybe since Arizona State was on the power play, an offensive zone face-off. Really nice to see Arizona State tip that ice back a little bit towards U of A, and a huge opportunity here for them in the face-off dot.
It'll be Kylie Ram this time for Arizona State, and they'll win it. Anthony White trying to find that backdoor pass to Kylie Ram, intercepted by Rossi. White keeps it in, will dump it in, but it ends up hitting a Arizona player, and we'll have a whistle as Hanrahan touches the puck, and it looks to be a penalty on Arizona. As it's Carter Hanrahan not liking what the referee was telling him as he gets shown the door. And so the Sun Devils, although down 2, have a great opportunity to cut the lead. Gross wins the faceoff. Wrist shot on from King. Great block. Kneeling was Erickson. Erickson just trying to kill some more clock, and they'll take a tough check from Marchand. Gross, drop pass to Marchand, and he almost turns it over. Sun Devils collect it still. Gross. Saucer pass to King, but it was in his skates, and the Wildcats will try to hop on that loose puck. And they will now for the moment. Butler pins his man to the wall and allows Arizona State to break it out. Carter works it around to Gross. Now to King at the point. Sun Devils can settle the puck. Gross. Marchand. Newland. Marchand. He swaps spots with King. He gets it back. King. Wrist shot on, and that's blocked. 14 seconds left on the man advantage. King's unable to keep it in. Wildcats the other way. Snapshot on, kicked away by Glenn. Tired power play unit for Arizona State. They'll go for a change with under 30 seconds left on the power play.
And maybe the worst power play so far tonight we've seen from Arizona State, partner, as the Wildcats getting maybe the better opportunities.
Kate Olsen on the half wall. Cameron. Wrist shot on, Gold with the right leg pad stop. Friesen will regroup. Comes back in. Kylie Ram waiting, trying to fit that pass through. Cameron wasn't ready for it. Point shot on, redirected by Cameron, saved by Gould. And now the Wildcats are back to full strength. And I definitely agree with your assessment, Niall. That's probably the weakest Arizona State power play in the game. Wildcats trying to apply some more pressure. Sova Sky will chip it out in the neutral zone as we are almost past midway in the second period. And that was a quick up play by the Wildcats. Shot misses wide. Oh, and a tough pass for the Wildcats. Kennedy trying to get there first, but he gets beaten by Chioka. Walker, now to Steffen. Steffen has the puck in his skates. And Ben Chasen on the pursuit, trying to dislodge the puck from him. Chase, great defensive effort, but a poor pass to break it out allows Arizona to dump it back in. Chase up to Kennedy, but Kennedy can't find it. Olsen goes D to White. And it looks to be a penalty behind the play, and Arizona will touch it up. And it's going to be Steffen taking a very undisciplined penalty, as that was not around the puck at all.
Undisciplined, I think a great word there, partner. University of Arizona has everything going their way in this game, and really no reason at all to take a penalty like that. The Sun Devils seem to be kind of playing themselves into tough spots right now and giving the game at times almost to the Wildcats, letting them dictate the pace of play. And to take a penalty at that time back behind the play for no reason, not the wisest decision by the Wildcats, and Arizona State looking quite uninspiring at the moment. A great opportunity for them to turn that around here and get back into the game.
First power play unit back out for the Sun Devils. Carter Newland backs up against the half wall. King. And it's definitely a new wrinkle with this Arizona State power play, as they really try to work with this one-touch passing over to either Marchant or Gross on the weak side. Marchant has to button hook back up to the blue line. Newland now to Butler. Gross asking for it. Shot pass to King, but he can't release it. Marchant fakes the shot. Now to Newland. One-touch passing, the one-timer shot kicked away by Gould, and that rebound bounces all the way out of the Arizona zone.
And you mentioned the one-touch passing for the Sun Devils. I like the idea behind it, but they're playing very wide, very much to the exterior, and staying out at some spots where you're really not going to see a lot of great goal-scoring opportunities.
They work it to the other side, and Butler's one-timer shot saved by Gould.
I like that. More into the middle of the ice. Sun Devils looking more aggressive.
45 seconds remain on the man advantage. Gross. Wrist shot on rebound, but it came to King. He has to settle it. Now to Butler. Butler shot on, and they score! Not sure if Newland got the last touch on it, but either way, the Sun Devils cut the lead in half.
Caden Butler looks to get credit for the goal. A little bit of a Nostradamus call by you, partner. The one-touch passing, they finally get it to connect. As you saw, the offensive unit for Arizona State start to collapse a little more towards the net, get a little bit tighter. They could feel that the passes were a little crisp. The University of Arizona a little bit tired. They got it stuck out there on the ice for a while, and all of a sudden the Sun Devils getting closer and closer to the goal. Those one-touch passes were looking a lot more dangerous, getting into better areas. And they go tic-tac-toe in front of the net. Caden Butler, a beautiful finish. And you can feel the energy back in this building.
Arizona State University, the #1 university in innovation, and it was an innovative play by Caden Butler to somehow shoot the puck in between his legs on the backhand, and that surprised the goaltender Gould. Sun Devils trying to ride this momentum after getting that goal. Kennedy Sweary and Ben Chase out right now, and they're doing a good job of it. Keeping it in the offensive zone for the moment, but nobody was home at the blue line to keep that puck in. Anthony White gets taken down. White, a great job to trying to dislodge the puck, but Wildcats still threatening. Sun Devils come back in with it. White trying to find Keeler on the back door. He gets the pass into his skates. Wildcats will just dump it out. Offside by the linesman. Kylie Ram will chip it back in and wait for his line mates to tag up. With under 7 to play so far, Sun Devils just scoring in the last minute to cut this lead down to 1. Walker around a couple Arizona State players, then he lays off the pass. Not sure if his line mate was expecting that one. Wrist shot on, that gets kicked away by Glenn. Chioka will slam that one in. Over to Steffen, but he'll overskate the puck. And again, a really peculiar play as it was a great job by the Arizona forward to deke his way in, and he was right almost towards the crease, and he ends up deciding to lay it off instead of take the shot on.
I think Walker may have been the only person in this building that knew that pass was coming.
Caden Butler will pin his man to the wall. Newland trying to create the turnover. And Hodgson will just get it out of his own zone, and Steffen will finish the job, dumping it all the way down. Icing waved off. Newland in a hot pursuit. Gets the puck and the turnover. King drops it for Marchand. Marchand around 1. Wrist shot on, and Gould's able to snag it with his glove and not allow a rebound with 5:13 in the second period.
And what a peculiar thing momentum is. You go back in time, if we just went back about 10 minutes of game time, this ice sheet would have looked like it was about to fall into the lap of Nathaniel Glenn. It was all Wildcats. The score was only 2-0, but it felt more like 5-0. And just like that, Arizona State capitalizes on the power play finally. They break through, they get a goal, and this feels like a whole new ball game.
Wildcats win the draw. They'll dump it down, but a little too strongly, and Marchand will touch it up for an icing.
Wildcats have looked good tonight in the face-off dot. And that always seems to be something that precipitates which team just kind of has that slight edge over the course of the whole game, is who can be better in the face-off dot. Matthew Gross on his strong side here. We'll see if he can dig in and get this back to the point to Luke Chase.
Wildcats with Curley trying to buy some time to get a couple extra breaths. Kept in by Luke Chase. Wrist shot on from King will miss wide. Back around to Kylie Ram, and he releases that one-timer shot. But Gould was ready and alert for it.
And I have to say, great job tonight by the veteran, number 13, Tyler Kylie Ram. It seems like he's been all over the place for Arizona State, getting on loose pucks. He's generated a power play with some hard work shorthanded. He's been in the face-off dot when needed. He's a bit of a Swiss Army knife, if you will, doing everything that the coach asked him to and then some.
Wrist shot from King gets blocked. Gross leaves it for Kylie Ram as his head up. He likes to play it up to the point. Luke Chase's shot, he was trying to find a redirection, but unsuccessful. Gross will keep it in. Still with a tired group of Wildcats stuck out there. One-timer shot on, blocked by Maloney. Marchand ends up tumbling to the ice, losing his edge. And the Wildcats could ice it again if they don't beat out Luke Chase. And now they're stuck out there again.
And how about the effort from Luke Chase, the big, tall defenseman, not exactly known for being the Connor McDavid of the squad. But as you mentioned, he beats that out, and now this Wildcat group, you can tell they are tired. They've been on the ice for an extended period of time. And Arizona State has to think this is a golden opportunity if they can win this draw, really push that momentum to the breaking point.
Wildcats again, all of them, all five hunched over, kept him by Tonez. Carter Newland, now to Butler. Oh, what a play! What a goal! Matt Keeler! On the seat of his pants, he ties it up at 2. And you can hear the fans chanting here at Mulder Arena as they enjoyed that individual effort by Keeler to do whatever he could to get that puck in.
And how about Keeler showing you don't need to stay on your feet to score a goal at this level. And as we mentioned, Arizona State building the momentum, getting chance after chance. You could feel a tired Wildcat group was pushed all the way back into the corner, hunched over. They couldn't do anything to clear the puck, and the Sun Devils clawing their way back into this game. It's 2-2.
Kennedy delays, plays up to Tonez. Blocked by Pizzo. Chase. Redirection pass to White. But Chase ends up turning it over. And what do you know, another icing call on Arizona. And credit to the Sun Devils finally making the Wildcats pay. Normally with an icing call, it's not too much of a big deal. Usually you can get a breather and a little bit of a reprieve from the pressure from your opponent, but if you accumulate those over time, it could end up costing you. Sun Devils trying to get there. Kept him by Sovisky. Kate Olsen. Rishon and Gould will be happy to glove that puck up and get a whistle for his teammates. And a great response by the Sun Devils in the second period. They were down 2 at points, but they have battled their way back to tie it at 2. And Gould will elect to freeze it again.
And it's felt like this game has kind of been played in 10-minute chunks, if you will. Early on, it was the University of Arizona. Then we got into kind of a 10-minute chunk in that first period towards the latter stages where it was just special teams after special teams. The Wildcats dictating the pace of play early in the second, and then seemingly out of nowhere, Arizona State coming alive. And we've got quite an exciting affair as we wind down towards the later stages of this middle frame partner. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see a few more penalties coming up in this one.
Hughes will come in on the attack. Wrist shot high of Glenn. And now it's the Sun Devils' turn to ice the puck.
That puck taking a wicked deflection off the stanchion, just missing the head of the referee.
And what seems like it feels maybe even the whole period as the Wildcats finally have an offensive zone draw. Draw 1 by Arizona. Maloney trying to find a shooting lane. He does, and it goes dangerously wide. Kate Olsen needs to check, but he'll clear it. Partial change for Arizona State. Icing waved off as it was tipped in. Olsen. Stretch pass to Squarey, and he'll chip it in himself and go in on the forecheck. Both teams going for a change. Sun Devils have to hustle back out to defend. Wildcats still with it. Out in front. Great stick-to-itiveness by Hunter Friesen. He intercepts the pass, and he'll skate it out. Mark Descharme. Trying to apply some pressure, Squarey. Descharme. But it'll get played out the other side by Arizona. Steffen. Steffen waits, wrist shot on. That hits a body and deflects into the corner. Descharme to Squarey. He'll chip it in. Ooh, and eat a hard check. That time for Renfrew. And Squarey gets right back up. Curley. Passing the skates of his line mate. Allows Arizona State to clear it out. Butler ends up coming in offside as Newland was pressuring the Arizona defenseman, and he was still stuck in the offensive zone.
And with 72 seconds left here in the second period, if you're the Sun Devils right now, I have to think this is where we're just going to play some simple X's and O's hockey. We don't want to get caught out of position. We don't want to turn it over at the blue line. Let's play simple, play smart, and if we get this thing back to the intermission tied up, that's a win for this group.
Arizona will come back in, but great back check from Butler. Helps out his defenseman, White. It's a 3-on-1. Newland to Butler. Oh, and it was trying to find Keeler on the other side, but it was a tough pass for Butler to handle as it was in his skates. Butler still pursuing the puck. Keeler, the goal scorer to tie it at 2, eats a check. Wildcats now come the other way. Gremlick trying to protect that puck, but he gets forced up out of the offensive zone.
Smart play by Gremlick as he saw his teammates were changing behind the play. He did not want to turn that over.
Puck redirected, but out of play with 22 seconds left in the period.
A great bounce back. A lot of character shown by this Arizona State group this period, something that I think we have seen in spurts over the course of this season, but especially against bigger opponents. You think of the University of Arizona, you think of Nevada, Las Vegas. The Sun Devils seem to rise to the occasion when they need to, and they certainly needed to this period.
Erickson shot from the corner. He'll find Pizzo, and he'll get thrown down by Olsen. 5 seconds left. Chase was keeping behind his net. Now to Gross. And that'll do it. As looks to be Ben Chase taking a really hard check behind his own net. He's getting checked up on by that back referee, but he's back to his own feet. And with 2 periods of play, Arizona State showing a lot of character, showing a lot of effort and heart, tying this game back up at 2.
Certainly, partner, and going into the intermission, very different story than what we may have thought was going to be the case. The pep talk's a lot different for the coaches from 10 minutes ago to right now, and I think it'll be interesting to see which team comes out with a little more juice at the start of this third period, because the way this game is feeling right now at 2-2, the next goal feels very big and could likely be the game winner the way this thing is going.
Well, folks, we hope you stick around and tune in. With 15 minutes to go as we resurface the ice to bring you live third period action. At the end of 2, Arizona State 2, Arizona 2. This is Arizona State ACHA Hockey YouTube.
do. Now, ever since I was young, it's been my dream that I might drive the Zamboni machine. I get that ice just as slick as could be, and all the kids would look up to me. Yeah, I wanna drive the Zamboni. Yeah, I wanna drive the Zamboni. Yes, I do.
Coming on to the light of day, we got many moons that are deep at play. So I keep an eye on the shadow, smile to see what it has to say. You and I both know everything must go away. What do you say? Spinning out letters on my heart, it's like a bitter light and a touch of dark. You got sneak attack from the zodiac, but I see your eyes spark. Keep the breeze and go, blow by blow and go away. What do you say? Yeah, you don't know my mind, you don't know my kind. Dark necessities are part of my design. And tell the world that I'm falling from the sky. Dark necessities are part of my design. Stumble down to the parking lot. You got no time for the afterthought. The light, ice cream for an astronaut. Well, that's me looking for weed. Turn the corner and find the world at your command. Laying the hand. Yeah, you don't know my mind. You don't know my kind. Dark necessities are part of my design. Tell the world that I'm falling from the sky. Dark necessities are part of my design.
Thought that I'd be better off if I were on my own. I try to put my finger on the moment we went wrong, but the taste turned bitter, so I pulled the trigger. Not so easy to move on. I guess I should have known. Ice cold, I freeze up when I see ya. Left you just to find out that I need ya. So far, I wanna pull you closer. I wish we could start the whole thing over. Ever since I left you, I've been trying to get you back, and it keeps getting worse. I'm burning on the inside, and the truth is that I didn't know how good you were until you were gone. Until you were
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to ASU ACHA Hockey YouTube's presentation of ACHA Division I Men's Ice Hockey. I'm Brett Vaughn with Niall Cooper. And Niall, what a wacky hockey game. It seems like it's just been teetering back and forth between which team has had the momentum. And as we enter in this third period, it probably is at the result where we expect it to be, tied at 2.
Yeah, certainly an interesting path to get here to this point. as this game has really gone back and forth, almost like a seesaw at times. The University of Arizona had this game firmly in its grasp, and then Arizona State, a terrific job coming alive late in that second period. And the Sun Devils, they capitalized on the power play. Then they were able to get the equalizer from Keeler and a few timely saves from Nathaniel Glenn, and all of a sudden here we are, a tied game 2-2 in the third at Mullet Arena. What more can you want? And for a lot of these fans that are sitting down here beneath us, I'm sure they would like to see Arizona State get the next goal in this game, a very important goal.
And also a big game for the rankings, too, if Arizona State wants to get back into the national conversation with a top 20 team in Arizona. Marchand comes in, snapshot misses wide. Juicy rebound comes out to Ben Chase. Great to see him back out there on full power, just missing that rebound. Trevor Kennedy trying to attack, but he ends up getting the puck stripped away. And Arizona will come back in. Tonez, he'll go D to D. And he ends up getting taken down in doing so. And so we have a penalty behind the play. And a little bit of an interesting one as a stick was caught in the skate toque of two people. One of them being a Wildcats player, the other being the referee. And when that happens, it's pretty blatant that you created a penalty.
The evidence on full display for the referee in every sense of the word. And Arizona State, they've shown flashes on the power play. They capitalized the last period on the man advantage. And you want to talk about having a great opportunity less than a minute into the third period here. That has been presented on a silver platter for the Sun Devil group.
And the Sun Devil group, which this power play has really shown all sides, some uninspiring play at times, but most of the time, some great passing plays. They try to do it again. The one-timer shot from Gross, that's blocked. We'd like to see maybe a little bit of one-timer shot from Butler goes high. A little bit more ingenuity as I think Arizona's catching on that they're trying to find Gross on that weak side for the one-timer, and so they're expecting it. Wildcats happy to keep that puck glued to the kick plate to try and milk some more time. Hanrahan trying to rim it out, he can't. Marchand over to Newland. Drop pass, Marchand. Gross, wrist shot on, rebound in front still, and that'll come to an Arizona stick, and they'll clear it out.
Juicy, once again the word, a great opportunity for the Sun Devils on that rebound that got kicked out. Unfortunately, no one able to find it for the Sun Devils. And I like to see that, as you mentioned, the Wildcats kind of catching on to what the Sun Devils want to do on the man advantage. So if that's the case, just take a shot.
We have a whistle behind the play. It looks to be the referee, Gould, needing a stoppage, as I think he's looking over at his headgear.
And Brett, some big insults being laid down in the front row. I see some of the younger Sun Devil fans yelling, cheater, cheater, pumpkin eater, and I'm not sure if Arizona is going to be able to recover from that one.
No, those are some definitely damning accusations being hurled by those youngsters who are enjoying a nice weekend night here at Mullet Arena. Maybe somebody might have to stop them from over-serving too many Skittles. Being on a sugar crash is no joke, folks.
The Sugar Rush, though, that is a lot of fun.
Kylie Ram will ladle that puck in. Gould trying to clear it himself and ends up hitting his own man. Kept him by the Sun Devils. Kate Olson rims it around to Friesen. On the half wall to Marchand. Olson. Kylie Ram fakes the pass. It'll pop out to Marchand. Arizona player missing his stick. Now to Cameron. Cameron's wrist shot misses high. and will go out of play as it touched the netting. And Cooney will step out of the box, and the Wildcats kill that penalty off.
And we're back to 5-on-5 hockey now, but at the tail end there of the man advantage, Arizona State on essentially a 5-on-3, as it was the defenseman who loses his stick, the most integral part of that penalty kill for the four skaters that are on the ice of the two defensemen. And you saw the Sun Devils try to take advantage of that as they moved it down low right next to the player that was missing his stick. And that shot from Cameron that was opened up, a really great opportunity right in the middle of the slot, and it just goes a little high.
Stretch pass from the Wildcats out of their own zone, had a little too much zip on it, and it'll be whistled down for an icing.
And something else to note that we don't get to often say, the ice is looking really good tonight. Here on the big rink at Mullet Arena, not as much action. The ice is kept in very high quality, a high quality state for the NCAA squad. Not as much public skating going on.
A shot from Butler hits his own man, and Tonez will glove it down but can't keep it in. Butler trying to find it, will squirt out. But great back check from Anthony White will allow him to come in hot with some speed, and like you marked in the first period, partner, White has been all over the ice.
He has been, and you know, the way that he's been jumping in from the point, it'll be interesting to see. Both teams have been a little bit squirrely with the puck in the neutral zone. It was mucky, especially in the first period. The game has seemed to kind of open up a little bit since then, but White will have to keep his eye on any loose pucks.
Sky gets his wrist shot through, punched away by Gold. Kylie Ram misses on the redirection. And Wildcats will be forcing it all the way down, and that'll be another icing call. Going back to White's game tonight, he reminds me of a Bronco, but with an extra H in the name. A Broncho, if you will, as it seems like he hasn't been domesticated yet. He's just a wild Mustang, wild Bronco out there, where you can't really harness his power, but he has so much of it that it's just fun to watch.
You know, I think there's a lot of people, great people, the best people out in central Oklahoma that might have something to say about the Broncho reference you just made.
He will skate it in himself. Olsen will ride him into the boards. Puck will pop out to Kylie Ram, but as the errant pass, it'll end up going for an icing.
Maybe a record number of icings here tonight. As the puck really zipping down the ice. Usually, as we approach the 5-minute mark here in the third period, over on the Mackey ice rink, at this point the ice would start to get chewed up enough. You'd see that puck slowing down visibly on the passes and the clearing attempts, and that's not the case right now. The ice at this point on the Mullet rink almost better than fresh off of a cut over on the Mackey rink, I would have to say.
Linesman trying to get both teams in order on the faceoff. Draw one by Arizona. Walker in the corner. Drops it for Steffen behind the net. Centers it out in front. Puck will come up to the blue line. And it was a nice defensive stick by Kylie Ram, pushing that pass out of his zone. Gross couldn't handle the breakout pass. Walker comes in with it. And he'll be forced to lose possession of the puck. Kylie Ram battling the pinching Helgson. And the Sun Devils will be able to finally get a change and get some fresh legs out. That puck was dumped in a little too high, touches the netting, and so the faceoff will be back out in the neutral zone. As we're just shy of 5 minutes into this last period of play, tied at 2. Thank you so much for joining us tonight here on Arizona State ACHA Hockey YouTube. If you were unable to make it tonight here at Mullet. Puck will be rimmed and go all the way back out to the other side where Luke Chase is unable to clear it. Wildcats threatening that snapshot. Will be gloved down by Nathaniel Glenn.
Cagey, I think, would be the word right now that we could use to describe this game. Both teams, I think, recognizing the importance of the next goal and playing a little bit more conservative than we saw, especially in that second period when the play started to open up a bit more coast to coast.
Ben Chase barking out orders to his line mates on what he's going to do with this faceoff. Wildcats win it, though. Kennedy gets some help from Chase, and they cleared out momentarily. Marchant behind his net. Quas unable to get there. Kennedy trying to beat Baird. And it looks to be a delayed penalty call, and it looks to be on Kennedy, which that was very surprising, as it seemed, at least from the angle the referee couldn't see, that maybe Baird was getting handsy with Kennedy.
And Kennedy shaking his head back behind the play. He did not like that call one bit.
And it'll finally be touched up, and it looks to be Kennedy heading to the box.
And when it comes to this rivalry series partner, the referees always seem to make a mark and have their stamp on the game. Whether they want to or not is usually the case, as both of these teams, certainly no love lost between these two interstate rivals. And overall tonight, you have to say the referees haven't had too much of a firm manhandling of this game, if you will. The calls have been pretty even. Both teams a similar amount of power plays, seemingly well-deserved. And it's time now for the Sun Devils. They've gotten a few power plays. We'll see if they can do it.
Kylie Ram almost intercepting the pass from the goaltender Gould, as that could have been a costly mistake. Wildcats come back in with it, though. Kate Olson, another great job. It's Olson now. Earlier it was Matt Keeler again with a great individual effort setting up that play for Kylie Ram. Chioka sidesteps Tonez's check. Puck will be in the corner. Tonez gives it right back to Chioka, but it's turned over to Walker. Walker waiting for some time and space. He finally gets it. Vockler. Chioka. Back to Vockler. Under 60 seconds left on the power play for Arizona. Vockler. Cross-seam pass ends up deflecting off of Hughes, wide of the net. They set it back up. Vockler fakes the shot. Centered out in front. Chase trying to handle it. It'll come to Friesen. Could be a shorthanded chance. Tonez. Tonez waits. Trying to get that one in front. And Friesen's still with the puck. Friesen. Up to Marchand. Marchand will elect to kill off some more time off the clock and skate it back in his own zone. As the penalty to Kennedy winds down, as he stands up in the penalty box to get back on the ice. It's been a great penalty kill by Arizona State. Chase, headman pass to Kennedy, but it's behind him. Icing waved off. Kennedy leaves it for King. King to Kylie Ram. Kylie Ram wrist shot. He had the right side open, but he's inaccurate. Kylie Ram trying to center this one quick. If he can get it up to his stick, he'll elect to keep it. Still going at it. Gross trying to peel that one off the boards, but he's forced to play it out. Sun Devils with some jump to their step after killing that penalty. Gross's shot will rim all the way out for a free breakout. Sovasky takes a hard check from Rossi. Baird skates in with it. Baird with it. Snapshot. Blockered away by Glenn. Gross just clears out to the neutral ice as he's towards the end of his shift, but he turns it over dangerously. Wildcats in. What a stop by Glenn. Gross able to clear it out and ends up hitting the linesman right at the blue line. Nathaniel Glenn saving this game and keeping it at 2. Stretch pass as Erickson is unable to reach it, and the faceoff will be back in Arizona's zone as I still try to comprehend what just happened, partner.
And we mentioned earlier, and especially in the pregame, we noted Nathaniel Glenn would have to appear tonight a few times for Arizona State. However, I don't think even he could have imagined that gift wrap chance handed to the forward for the University of Arizona. That looked like a practice drill where you get to come in 1-on-0 on the goaltender, and Nathaniel Glenn sprawling out full body to stop that one. And my, oh my, what a chance for the University of Arizona that was.
Anthony White unable to stretch out and keep that puck in the zone, and so the face-off will be just outside of it.
And you'll have to check your 50-50 raffle ticket, partner. It looks like they're giving out the winning code right now.
Fortunately for me, I did not end up playing tonight, as we do have a job to do here at Mold Arena. And nobody's stood up and proclaimed that they won the 50-50, although I'm not sure if you really want to, because you don't want to share that jackpot with anybody else. Wildcats come in with that stretch pass, but again, what do you know? Anthony White with a great poke check. Wrist shot on from Keeler, looking for another goal, but netminder for Arizona was ready for the wrist shot. As we are almost halfway through this last period of the game. Be Friesen being kicked out for Squarey. Squarey will win it clean. Wildcats will chip it out to Maloney. Wrist shot on, punched away by Glenn to the corner. Another wrist shot on, blocked by Friesen. And you mentioned it earlier in the game. With all these stoppages, it really just kills the flow of the game, which could be good or bad depending on which way the momentum is going.
Yeah, we really only saw, I think, maybe 2 instances in the second period where the game kind of flowed a little bit, and that was when University of Arizona was able to take a 2-0 lead. And then on the other side, when Arizona State was able to tie the game back up at 2-2, both came on instances of the go-ahead scoring team.
That point shot gets deflected, but Glenn with good positioning keeps the puck out. Marchand will step up. Wrist shot on, that gets saved by the stick of Gould. Kennedy tracks that puck down, trying to drive to the net, but he ends up losing his balance. Quas will shepherd Walker behind his net and will go off for a change.
Coaching staff applauding the Arizona State forecheck and then being responsible enough to get back and get a change.
Olsen rims it around to King, and King will just get it out. And a good response and good effort by Arizona State tonight. It seems that everybody's been moving their feet. Been really impressed with how they've been forechecking so far tonight.
Yes, great forecheck. They've been very responsible, especially in the neutral zone, where we've seen some teams be able to take advantage of the Sun Devils, spread them out, and it's been tough. You see Arizona having to resort here, just chipping it into the far corner. Sun Devils still the first ones to the puck.
Turned over at the blue line, and Helgsen's shot stopped without a rebound by Glenn.
And those are words that I think will cause any coach to pull some of their hair out. Turnover at the blue line. We saw it way too many times in the first period, and the Sun Devils were able to skirt disaster a number of times. But as we get deeper and deeper into this third period, every time you turn the puck over becomes a little bit more consequential, and a little bit more is at stake and on the line.
Draw one forward by Keeler, and Chioka is forced to dump it back. Butler will elect for the chip pass. Newland latches onto it, but that puck's rolling end over end, and Newland leaves a puck behind the net. Oh, and the cage goes yawning almost over the goaltender. Gould, and it's whistled down as the net came off its moorings.
And maybe fortunate for Carter Newland back behind the play. He was reaching for a loose puck, got his stick out, and an Arizona player took a tumble. But that was right about the same time as the net came off the moorings. The Arizona bench was starting to jump up for a call. And luckily for Arizona State, they're able to get a whistle, stop play before a potential penalty could be called.
And Gould will take this time to recollect himself, get a splash of H2O, and he'll get ready for this face-off. Sun Devils unable to win the draw. Hughes takes in the offensive zone. Erickson gets pinned up to the wall. Puck at the point. Beautiful block by Keeler. Doing it on both ends tonight. Newland will drop it. Keeler, the puck in his skates, will play it in on towards the Arizona goal. And as the Sun Devils will go for the partial change. Under 7 to play now. For the scoring we've had in the first and the second period, no scoring so far in the third. Quast with an area pass to Kennedy, but he's unable to corral it. Wildcats try to break out of their own zone. Hughes gets around Quast. Sovisky with a great active stick, poking that puck and forcing Arizona offside.
And you like to see the fans getting into it for the Sun Devils down along the glass. A big crowd, big turnout here tonight. We were talking to GM Ted Burr earlier during the intermission, and he was saying his email was nearly crashing from all of the confirmations of tickets getting bought. That's something you'd love to hear, as hockey still very much alive here in the Valley.
Draw one by the Wildcats. And they'll regroup and come back in. Kate Olson, good job using the body. That'll be collected by Maloney, though, in that short angle shot. Misses high. Gross unable to pick the puck out of the Wildcats player's skates. Walker gets around Kate Olson. Walker up to the point to Helgson. Walker with some space and traffic in front of Glenn, but that puck misses wide.
That's a dangerous chance there for Arizona State to give up. You see a guy like Walker cutting in on his wrist shot. That is not the place you want to give him a free look at the net.
Wildcats continue on with some fresh skaters, and Glenn's able to get that much important whistle and get a change for his troops in front of him.
Smart play by Glenn just to cover that one up. Sometimes the biggest save your goaltender can make is saving a little bit of time, saving a little bit of oxygen for his teammates. Just get that whistle, live to fight another day, get some fresh troops on the ice. You can see the defensive core for the Sun Devils getting on the bench right now, breathing very heavy after that shift.
Sun Devils trying to find it And skating out with the puck with it is Marchand. Marchand with some space, but he ends up losing an edge as that rush had some promise for Arizona State. Quast, short angle shot, saved by Gold. He'll direct that one into the corner, and the puck will take a high chip off the glass and now be in the Arizona State zone. Luke Chase passes it to his brother Ben. Ben ends up taking that puck into a lot of busy and heavy traffic, and he turns the puck over. Tonez, great job blocking that shot. Trying to break it out, doesn't know where the puck is, and he'll elect to lay the body down instead. Chip off the boards, Newland dumps it down for Butler. He's getting impeded currently by the Arizona defenseman, but they'll collect the turnover in the offensive zone. Butler trying to dig for it. He's trying to yell for some help with his line mate Newland in the corner. Interesting, the referee's still letting the play go, not blowing it down. As he's barking at both players to dislodge the puck, and Arizona finally comes out with it. Puck will get dumped in. Glenn leaves it for White, but White had to wait a beat. He wasn't able to get the puck out. As we're under 4 minutes to play in this third period. Still knotted up at 2. Wildcats keep it in. Hughes waits, trying to get the shot through. Tonez with another block. And White ends up hitting it off the stanchion and out of play. And we'll have a whistle in the Arizona State end.
And while the scoreboard says we're in the third period, we are effectively in overtime at this point, partner. Next goal will almost surely win this game, be it in the final 3 minutes and change of this period, in overtime, or the go-ahead in the shootout potentially. And you mentioned the rankings earlier. Both these teams understand that a regulation win would go the farthest in helping them climb up the rankings further. And you can feel both teams just digging in a little bit more, the intensity starting to ratchet up with each passing minute.
White trying to clear it out of the strong side. That's sealed in by the Wildcats. Helgson plays that puck off the board, centered out in front. And that'll come to an Arizona State stick, and Butler clears it. Ooh. Tough one for Arizona State as he almost got caught out with too many men as they're trying to go for a quick change. And Glenn will put his stick paddle over the puck. And the referee will blow it down with 2:53 remaining in the game.
You could see some of the coaching staff for the University of Arizona starting to jump. They saw the prospect right in front of them. Nearly a too many men penalty about to be called on the Sun Devils. Those troops getting back to the bench were able to just kind of dive on there in the nick of time. I look back behind the play. You could see the referee was counting 1, 2, 3, 4. He had his fingers up. He was going through it. The Sun Devils afforded just that extra second or two to get the change completed.
Kennedy gets taken down, but the referees, both of them, swallow their whistles.
That seems to be the theme late in this game. I think it would have to be something quite egregious to get the referee to raise their arm.
Rebound shot off of the stanchion goes wide. Quast dumps it in, icing waved off. Kennedy forces pressure on the Arizona defense. Point shot from Luke Chase, and that will get kicked away by Gould. He had to fight through some traffic to see that shot.
Some good communication by the D right now for Arizona State, sorting out that bouncing puck.
And it keeps bouncing as Trevor Kennedy will get a much needed rest after some good hustle on that shift. Hughes button hooks up, trying to cycle it back down low. He'll come to Kylie Ram, and he'll play it up to Gross, and he'll glove it down. Gross around Chioka. Gross still with it, waiting, trying to fit that pass through, and Helgson was able to stretch his body out to negate the pass. And Gross is unable to find one of his Arizona State defensemen. They have to regroup in the neutral zone. Under 90 seconds to go as Gross ends up taking a hard hit to the head area. But again, no call. King will keep it in. Plays in the corner to Kylie Ram. Now to King. King still with it, but he's unable to get the shot. Will put it in on the goaltender Glenn as we're now under 60 seconds to go in regulation. Puck will find Carter Newland fresh off the bench. Newland gets him out from Butler. Now to Marchand. He walks the line. DDD to Luke Chase, but he'll blow a tire. But seals the wall momentarily, forces Arizona to have to chip it out. Luke Chase will just play it out in the neutral zone as we're now under 30 seconds to go. Newland comes to the puck. Newland unable to deke his way through two Arizona players. And that puck goes up and out of play as the referees will be able to signal that it was not blatantly played out for delay of game, and we'll have a whistle.
And the University of Arizona head coach Chad Berman deciding to call his lone timeout here, as it's going to be an offensive zone draw coming up for the Arizona State Sun Devils. 18.4. And this is quite literally the home stretch here, partner. The Sun Devils, we mentioned it earlier, we've seen it manifest multiple times in this game. The team that seems to get the offensive zone face-off wins has been the team that's been getting the offensive zone scoring opportunities. Not really tough math there to connect those dots, but the moment is much more magnified right now. Late in this game, the Sun Devils, if they can get a win here off of the face-off, get it back to the point. We've seen both goaltenders just kind of struggling to fight through the traffic. Both teams doing a good job getting men in front of the goaltenders' eyes, screening them. And I think with the ice starting to finally get a little bit choppy at the very end of this third period, that's something that would behoove the Sun Devils should they get this face-off win. At the other end of the ice, if you're University of Arizona, you want to tie them up. You want your wingers to come in, dig that puck out to the D, and just get it clear. You have the whole ice to work with to sky this thing down and get some fresh troops. And one clearance for the University of Arizona should be enough to get this game to overtime.
Saw their head coach Johnny Walker with the whiteboard of drawing up a play. It'll be Jake King in the circle. Sun Devils win it. Marchand fakes the shot. Now to Olsen. Olsen wrist shot on. Hits a couple bodies and goes wide. Takes a crazy hop off the boards. That allows Arizona to skate it out. Hands. Slapper misses high. And we're going to OT. And so for 5 minutes, we'll have 3-on-3 overtime. And again, really sums up this game, how even it's been so far, that now we're going to be heading to extras.
Certainly the case. And this third period, I think, has been far and away the most even period of this game. We've seen the most open play, if you will, a lot less trips to the penalty box, which I think has allowed this game to kind of manifest. And both teams kind of able to showcase how even they are. Going toe-to-toe, we've seen the goaltenders making some great saves. Nathaniel Glenn, right now, if you're the head coach, Johnny Walker, and you're looking over at Nathaniel Glenn, you're giving him a little wink, maybe a little pat on the back after the game for that save that he made on that turnover right in front of the blue paint by the Arizona State defense. A huge reason why we are in overtime right now, number 31 in the white and gold.
And also, too, some extra bonus hockey for the fans in attendance here at the arena tonight. And you heard them peeking a little bit through with some chants of ASU as they're trying to attack and trying to end the game in regulation. And you can really feel that if the Sun Devils are able to carve out a goal or at the very least a win in a shootout, there's going to be some jubilation and some happenings going on here on the campus of Arizona State.
Certainly the case. Hopefully we all get a chance to hear your pipes one more time go absolutely loco. And both teams not able to get that win in regulation, so that means that right now, as far as the rankings are concerned, both teams could get a lesser bump should they win in overtime. If this game does go to a shootout, as far as the computer rankings are concerned, it's effectively a tie when it's all said and done. So these next 5 minutes, about as big as it gets for Arizona State, as they are currently chasing the teams in front of them as they eye one of those last spots to try to sneak into nationals.
Gross, King, and Marchand out for Arizona State, the three-man group to start this overtime. Marchand drops it for Gross. Gross still with it. That shot gets redirected and out of play, and seemed to be some hooting and hollering as getting taken down was Justin Hughes, as might have been an inadvertent pick play set up by Arizona State, but no whistle.
And that's something you occasionally see, the accidentally on purpose pick play, and that has to be very subtly executed if you're the offensive team. Sometimes it just naturally occurs, but especially on 3-on-3, you know there's a lot of ice. If you can get one pick on the ice inadvertently from all the crisscrossing and crazy eights that you do in the offensive zone, you can very easily open up a nice 2-on-1 opportunity. The Sun Devils just about doing that.
Wildcats will win the draw now, and they'll take some time to set up in their own end. Here they come through and onside. Walker gets the pass. Back door. Anthony White was able to do just enough to take his man down. But it's turned over. Gross trying to chop at it, and it looks to be a penalty as the Wildcats are pulling the goalie for an extra attacker while they wait for Arizona State to touch the puck. And they finally do, as tough break for Matthew Gross as he was trying to button a hook around the Arizona player, and the referee ends up whistling him for a tripping call.
And not surprising to see that call assessed there on Matthew Gross. Usually the officials pretty tight-lipped with the whistles in the extra session, but Gross, he got beat, he got outmanned in the corner, and if he didn't dive out and take that forward down from the University of Arizona, that's another 1-on-0 out of the corner, walking in for a free goal-scoring opportunity. And while you certainly don't want to see a 4-on-3 power play with all this extra ice afforded to them, I think maybe the better option there as opposed to that 1-on-0 out of the corner. Nathaniel Glenn, you know, he's a confident man. Maybe he has a different take on things. But nonetheless, the Sun Devils put themselves in a tough spot. If they can get this kill, that would leave them with approximately only a minute 45 to continue their efforts in overtime to win this game. And you have to think at that point, the momentum probably still with the Wildcats. The Sun Devils would be looking to get a change. You're playing 4-on-4 once it's even, Steven. So right now, all eyes simply on Nathaniel Glenn and this three-man unit for Arizona State to try and get this kill.
So with that tripping call for Gross, it's now a 4-on-3 power play for Arizona. As Kylie Ram will play that in on the goaltender Golden. He had to be a little careful with dropping that puck down to his teammates. Wildcats will skate it in. Chioka. Now to Vockler. Chioka's one-timer shot misses. Walker still with it. Back door to Vockler. Vockler trying to get a shot through. Great stick by Kylie Ram, deflecting the shot. Chioka finds a lane. Glenn doesn't know where it is, and he just fought it off. Chioka again with it. One-timer shot stopped by Glenn. Walker still with it. Wrist shot misses high. Walker gets it back. Walker delays, waits, fits the shot through, and that's blocked by Kylie Ram. Sun Devils hanging in. Volker shot and he scores. Wrist shot from Volker. And Arizona wins it in overtime, 3-2. And it's a tough break for Arizona State, as they did such a good job and a valiant effort to come back from 2 goals down in this hockey game, but just couldn't get that third one. And that left the door open for Arizona.
And never a good thing to give the opposing team a power play opportunity in overtime. 4-on-3, there's so much ice out there. And University of Arizona, you saw them racking up chance after chance after chance. Nathaniel Glenn had a couple of immaculate saves in that extra session shorthanded. And for a moment you thought, wow, the Sun Devils might just get out of this. But every time that Glenn made a save or the University of Arizona got a goal scoring opportunity, that puck would just find its way back to a Wildcat stick. And it was that rinse and repeat. You see it so many times. As the team's on a man advantage, they get a chance, they get the puck back, that momentum becomes palpable, you can feel it, and the goal becomes just easier and easier to visualize. And that defense for Arizona State, they got tired, they had to collapse in, and that allowed the University of Arizona to walk it in about as close as they could get. A great goal scoring chance, and they make no mistake.
As we get things settled up here in the booth at Mold Arena. We were treated to a fantastic contest, one that if you were just a fan of neither team, was enjoyable from the very start. As we see the fans filing out here of Mold Arena, we'll welcome you inside. Brett Vaughn with Niall Cooper. And Niall, the Sun Devils, something that I think we've been wanting to see and wanting to see more consistently throughout a hockey game was their effort tonight. And that's something I felt that they really brought it and really impressed me and struck me tonight.
Yeah, this group for Arizona State, we've seen it in the past. The questions for them have really arisen. Okay, when, you know, the opportunity comes with a big opponent and you face some adversity, how are you going to respond? Well, the Sun Devils, they faced adversity tonight. They went down 2-0 in the middle frame of this period at Mullet Arena on the big ice sheet, and they responded well. They came back. They fought their way back into this game. We saw some great goaltending between the pipes to keep this thing close. We saw Arizona State really kind of find their game on the man advantage. You know, it was the special teams. They had some key kills. They had a power play goal to kind of get themselves back in it. And in a game like this, you know, we mentioned it multiple times, Arizona State, both teams, the University of Arizona as well, no one was really able to find their game, right? You know, like this was a game that was very stop and go. A lot of power play opportunities, 4-on-4, 4-on-3, 5-on-3, pretty much everything you could think of. And so for Arizona State to not only go down multiple goals, but not have a chance to really find their game and establish it and still come back, I think very impressive.
And partner, it's that time of the night to give us your player of the game.
And I think, you know, we mentioned shout out to Tyler Kiley Ram. He gets the honorable mention tonight. He was everywhere but the score sheet tonight, really doing it all for the Sun Devils. It was a bit of a spark plug, if you will, when they needed it the most for the Sun Devils. However, on the other end of the ice, you have to look at the goal scorer in the extra session, number 11, Vauclair. Just a great game for him. It seemed like every time that the University of Arizona had a chance the other way, whether it was, you know, off of the rush or on the man advantage, he seemed to be in the play, and he ultimately gets the goal that sends the University of Arizona Wildcats home happy tonight, and he is my player of the game.
Well, folks, thank you so much for tuning in to tonight's contest, and both of these same squads are going to be going at it tomorrow night with a broadcast and puck drop starting at 6:30. Before we go tonight, I want to say thank you to a very special group of people that helped make this broadcast possible. Our audio engineer tonight was Doc Cooper. Our statistician tonight was Johnny V. For one last time from Mullet Arena, for Niall Cooper, my partner, I'm Brett Vaughn, reminding you of tonight's final score. Arizona winning in overtime over Arizona State by the score of 3-2. Thank you so much for tuning in, And so long from Mullet Arena.